But we want to share with you an emotional exchange from just moments ago, an Afghan journalist from Brussels breaking down as she asked about the future of her country. Take a listen.
I would like to ask especially about NATO rule in Afghanistan. NATO is not only US. Don't you think that decision that you or NATO took, it was wrong? How do you respond for that? And how many more failed policy will be followed before a workable one will be implemented and planned? Because when we saw the situation as an Afghan woman and like a normal Afghan citizen, you see the situation is really tough, and there is thousands of women who really don't know for the future what is going on and what should happen for them. And they are always asking, what does it mean 20 years? NATO with all the international communities inside in Afghanistan, and then we are going back again 20 years after we were on that place. And I would like to ask how that possible. The US and EU, with the top of civilization in the world, have beaten Nazism, fascism, and imperialism. But after the Second World War, and NATO and European Union with all this big intelligence, and they are not able to defend for only a group of Taliban, and then you are doing everything again, put us 20 years after. And how do you see the future? And I would like to ask, as a woman, please, don't recognize the Emirate Islamic Taliban without any condition, like the agreement which is signed between Taliban and the government of Trump, and then all NATO is following that. Please don't recognize the Taliban and don't put us again in the same situation. Thank you very much.
It was extremely difficult to make the decision to end the NATO military presence in Afghanistan. And it was difficult because I share your pain. I understand your frustration. I was Prime Minister in Norway back in 2001 when we decided to send the troops for the first time to Afghanistan. And now I'm Secretary General of NATO, responsible for our presence there and the ending of our military mission. And over these years, I've been many times in Afghanistan. I met people, I met not least a lot of women standing out as strong leaders with a strong voice, and I've seen the social and economic progress you have been able to make in Afghanistan over these years. And therefore, we will continue to support, we will continue to watch, and we will continue to hold the new rulers accountable for living up to fundamental human rights, including, of course, the rights of women. And it is a tragedy what we now see taking place in Afghanistan. At the same time, there has been gains, and we all need to make all efforts to try to preserve those gains, including the fact that generations of men and women, but in particular women, are now educated, are now taking part of in political processes, and it will not be easy for new rulers to to take away all those gains. So I understand the anger, but I also have the responsibility to convey the message that the plan, the intent was never to stay in Afghanistan forever. The plan was to build an Afghan state, an Afghan security force, to take responsibility for the future of Afghanistan. And the tragedy was that after 20 years, we saw a very sudden collapse of Afghan leadership, politically and militarily, that led to the advances of Taliban.
And that was NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg.